Hello, welcome to this edition of the tutorial on budget monitoring system. In this episode, I am explaining how to enter data under Other Allowance Data Entry Form. From the form types, select Other Allowance. The pop-up window shows the details of staff already entered. The top section shows the department, office, head of account details. The lower part shows the Add Allowance and Modify Existing Allowance. Now click Add New Allowance and select the first staff entry and click Add Allowance button on the right side. A new window called Manage Allowance appear. It shows the basic pay and number of staff of selected designation. Now under Name of Allowance drop-down, a number of allowances are included. Select the relevant allowance and enter the monthly or yearly allowance in the next field, based on the nature of allowance. Enter the number of staff eligible for this allowance. Click Save button. This allowance is seen added below. Now, select another allowance. This time, the monthly rate is replaced by yearly rate, depending on the nature of allowance. Enter the number of staff eligible for this allowance. Click Save. It also has been added in the list below. Repeat this for adding any other allowance. The list is updated below. Now there is Edit and Delete button on the right side. If any editing to the data entered is required, click the Edit button. Make necessary corrections and click Update button. The message pop-up showing updated successfully. In this window, a note is added at the end, which indicates that the above allowance is except for bonus and festival allowance. These are automatically generated by the system itself. After entry, close the window for this designation. Now you can see, the entered designation is removed from the list. It is now added in the Modify Existing Allowance form. Select the next designation and follow the procedure mentioned earlier, to add different allowances. Here, the city compensatory allowance is automatically seen added based on the data entry at the time of staff data entry. Click Close. Now the list is empty. All the allowance data are now under the Form tab, Modify Existing Allowance. Click the Modify Existing Allowance. Select the desired designation, where the modification is required and click the Edit Allowance button on the right. The Manage Allowance window now appears. Select the desired allowance from the list below, except for City Compensatory Allowance. Click the Edit button. Enter the modification required. Click the Update button. Click Close. Now it returned to Add New Allowance page. Go to Modify Existing Allowance again, if further editing is required under the selected designation.